And before we get to the tips, I really want you to try and grasp what you're seeing around you. You're now in a city that 100 years ago did not exist. Like everything you see around here, this was all practically sandy. Over the last 100 years, this place had transformed to become one of the most exciting cities for people to visit around the world. If you want to open a startup, this is probably one of your two best locations. You want to explore nightlife? This is it right here, probably the nightlife capital of the Middle East. You want to explore the culinary scene? Probably this place, if you haven't read about it, has top 3 interesting culinary scenes in it. And as we're over here, I want to share with you my tips on how to maximize your time in this city. So tip number 1 is leave yourself some time for self-exploration. Look, Tel Aviv is a world city. I think it competes with London, Paris, New York, Madrid. When you think about those cities, people don't come to New York with a grocery list of things they want to see. People also want to feel the city. Walk around the alleys, give them some time to walk around the parks, get lost around. This is what I want you to be able to do in Tel Aviv. Give yourself some time for self-exploration, get lost in the alleys, feel the culture, feel the people, take a walk to the beach, really immerse yourself in the culture. I have to say that I've been guiding for over 5 years, and never once in my guiding career I had anyone who approached me and said, man, we had too much time in Tel Aviv. Like, we should have really cut our time in half in Tel Aviv. That doesn't happen. People always want to spend more time here, and people always want to spend here more time on their own. So really make sure you leave yourself some time for self-exploration. All right, so my next tip for you is the food. I don't know if you opened the culinary magazine in the past 5 years. What I can be sure that if you read it every week, Israel has been there more than once. And the reason for that is Israel, like the United States, is an immigrant culture. Jews came to Israel from over 150 countries around the world. Jews came here from Yemen and from Turkey and from Iraq and from Libya and from Poland and from Russia. And when people are coming from all of those corners around the world, they bring with them their own local culture. And their own local culture is really their food. But when they come over here, they bring their foods from home and they add to it this little Israeli Middle East Mediterranean spice. When they add this Mediterranean spice, what you have is an outstanding culinary scene, which is really probably one of the most vibrant in the world. So when you're in Tel Aviv, give yourself a chance to walk around the markets, give yourself a chance to go and taste the different dishes, try things you've never thought you'd try things that look differently than the things you're familiar from home. I guarantee that for you, this will be a whole new culinary experience. All right, so my next tip is from getting around from place to place. So in Tel Aviv, be a Tel Avivian, use a scooter, use a bike, find your way around. This is the fastest, easiest way to get around from place to place. Unlock it with your phone, and usually it's even faster than a taxi. So if you have the courage, if you have the spice to really be a true Tel Avivian, take one of those scooters or take one of those bikes that we see over there that you can rent from anywhere, and use this opportunity to feel the city like a local. All right. My next tip is for the ones of you who really want to get into the head of the Israeli collective memory, to the mind of the Israeli society, and really to the way of thinking of Israelis. If you want to take a chance and really understand Israeli history, I recommend go visit a site called the Israeli Museum at the Rabin Center. The Israeli Museum is a museum that shows in a chronological way the Israeli history. Give yourself at least 2 hours to visit this place. And during your visit, you're going to walk through Israeli history. And I can be sure that after a 2-hour visit, give or take, in that place, you will understand better what makes Israelis Israelis. What are some of the historical events that Israelis have in the back of their mind as they're talking to you in everyday conversation topics. So if you want to get Israelis, make sure you check out the Israeli Museum at the Rabin Center. All right, my next tip is to ones who want to immerse themselves in Israeli culture. Every Saturday in Gordon Beach, there is a huge lesson open to the public of Israeli folk dancing. Now, this is a little outdated. It's not what people my age practice every day. But if you really want to feel what life was like here 40 or 50 years ago, when we were all very collective and united and part of this collective identity, do yourself a favor. Wake up early Saturday morning and go to the Israeli folk dancing class on Gordon Beach. All right, so this is my last tip about Tel Aviv. And the tip is this: take a guide. Even for a day, maybe for two, but help yourself understand the city better with someone who knows the city. What you sometimes will take 3 days to discover, like your favorite little coffee place or the most interesting thing that like you'll be walking around for 3 days trying to figure out, if you get a guide for a day or even for half a day, he's going to show you all of that. So as much as it is fun to explore the city on your own, give yourself or treat yourself to having a guide that will show you around at least for a day around the city. Tel Aviv has outstanding beaches. Problem is that they're so outstanding that sometimes they get a little crowded. And therefore, if you go on the weekend specifically, the beaches are like packed with people, which adds to the atmosphere, but sometimes you just want to have a quiet beach time. So here's my secret tip for you. If you walk north from Tel Aviv port, and you walk along the coast from the port like 10-15 minutes, you're going to discover a row of beaches which are known as like the secret beaches of the real Tel Aviv. There is no lifeguard services there, but what you will find is a quiet beach area that the tourists have not yet discovered.